Well, hello, this is Mike, and I wanted to make this video for you. I'm actually enjoying the beach, and I thought, well, I'm going to show you, first of all, how I'm making some video with nothing more than a selfie stick, an iPhone, and this little handheld microphone. But more importantly, I'm going to talk to you about some strategies for how to get the most out of your studio day when we do the Health Network shoots. So I'm going to talk to you about clothing, about on-camera behavior, and also how to just get the most out of the production, okay? So what I'm going to be doing is periodically checking some notes here, and that's why you'll see a little bit of wiggling going on. So I think the first thing is I want you to know that my objective for you is to help create a very brand representative experience from this whole production. That's something that you can use over and over again. And the first thing that is really, really important is just remembering to smile. When you go on camera, I'd say out of everything you do, I have done some split tests and noticed that just by smiling, my sales increase. Your likability will increase, and also your passion's going to show up as well. The next thing is a couple in-studio things that you'll want to pay attention to. One of them is make sure you're not wearing any cologne or perfume or anything like that. The next thing is make sure that you are drinking lots of water all week. Lots and lots of water. It makes a big, big difference. And of course, lots of sleep. Eat great and avoid salt. Salt can help, or it can actually cause you to have bags under your eyes and your face to be puffy. So the less salt, the better. Let's see. Also, we do have stage makeup, but if you have specific kinds of makeup, make sure you bring your own with you, all right? The next thing is clothing. Now, obviously you want to look your very, very best, but you also want to make sure that you're relatable to the audience. And that just means if you're too perfect, there will be a barrier and a border between you and them, and they'll think that you're not approachable. So that's just psychologically something that's important. Next thing, in terms of patterns. Now, I'm wearing a black shirt, of course, out in the sun, but having the fewer patterns, the better. If you've ever worked with someone who's worked a fashion consultant or whatever, make sure you're wearing your colors, but you want to avoid patterns and plaids, for example. Those can create something called a moire pattern on your on camera, and it doesn't look good. The other thing that we do have an ironing board and an iron at the studio, so you'll be covered that way. Now, with regards to shirts, button-up is the best, both for men and for women. And the reason for that is you can put a microphone on you. So you want to avoid plunging necklines and that sort of thing if at all possible. You do not want to wear frilly stuff or t-shirts because the microphones are difficult to place. So first and foremost, you're going to be looking for where can you put your microphone. Also, jackets are great, but it might mean that the microphone might be put on one lapel or the other, which can cause a little inconsistency with how the audio is going to look and sound, or sound rather. Now, about jewelry. So you got to make sure that your hair and your jewelry cannot interfere with the microphone. I'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later on. But the bottom line is, if it's noisy, if it dangles, if it clunks, if it interferes, you don't want to wear it. Okay, next thing, hair. For women especially, if you have long hair, make sure that there's a spot for where the microphone is going to be, and that hair cannot possibly touch it. So if you have beyond shoulder length hair, my recommendation is that you pull it behind you and wear it behind you, okay? Next one, let's see. Oh, you just want to avoid bumping your chest while you're speaking. So some people start touching themselves on their chest while they're talking. They end up bumping or rubbing the microphone, which of course sounds terrible. It is impossible to edit out later on. And of course, we're going to be shooting and doing this whole program in real time. It would cause some problems. All right. So about the jewelry, dangly, noisy jewelry is bad. So ideally you'd wear studs or hoop earrings or a pendant that might come down to about here. Again, above the microphone is best. Any big jewelry you want to take off. Also, bracelets. Often I have interviewed people, and when they're sitting at the news desk, they start banging their hands on the desk, and their watch or their bracelet starts banging, and it sounds horrible. It's very distracting to the listener, and of course you're going to be involved in a conversation. You won't notice it, and again, we can't stop the production, so you're better off just not wearing anything that could clunk on the desk or table. All right, some presentation tips. Well, I started this off. The most important lesson of all is to smile. Okay, so smiling makes you lovable and likable, and the important lesson about any kind of camera work is they need to like you first. And when they like you, that's when they will listen to and capture your passion and go, oh man, I like this person. I think they're really smart, they're an expert, and I know they can help me. I want to buy their stuff, okay? So next thing is, while you're presenting, practice your talk as many times as you possibly can. I know this is going to sound like the ordinary, hey, practice, but really, if there's anything that you're doing that doesn't get to the point immediately, just get rid of it. I've watched and listened to a couple presentations, and it literally took 4 minutes, and I didn't know where a couple of those were going or what was going on. If you bore them, you're going to lose them. And not only will they lose you and interest in you, but they'll lose interest in the show as well. So just get to the point. So tell them what you're going to tell them and tell them what they told them. The only exception being is if you have an unbelievable life story that you're going to tell that just is a grabber that you know has worked on stage or on TV before, certainly tell that. All right. Let's see. So I think, yes, we allow for 12 to 15 minutes for the TED Talk, but look, if you can do it in 5 or 6, do it in 5 or 6. Shorter is always better, especially for more impact. We can make up for it in the Q&A section. And of course, don't be boring and just be passionate. Speak from your heart. Remember, this isn't a performance so much as the real you. So there's nothing to be afraid of, because I'm going to be on the other side of the camera looking at you, giving you some direction, and we're going to have a whole day for doing our dress rehearsal, and you're going to be able to watch other people getting coached as well, which is going to make a huge difference. All right, this is really, really important. The most important word while you are on camera is the word you. So it's not all of you, it's not you guys, it's one person. You are always speaking to only one person when you are on camera. And also, when you're referencing this, remember that, number one, this is designed to be evergreen. So this whole show is intended to last forever. So we don't want to make date or time references, media or news things that are going to date this in any way, shape, or form. We also want to keep them on the page, meaning watching the screen the whole time, so we keep their eyes, their ears, and their fingers busy all the time. So you don't want to be telling them to go look somewhere at something else either, or get them curious enough to go off the page. We keep them there. All right, as I would say, distractions are evil. All right, so a few confidence boosters for you. Number one, we do have a dress rehearsal planned. That's the day before. Practice and meditate. Remember that you don't have to memorize your speech. You're going to be able to look at your slides if you need something to remind you about what's going on. And that makes this whole process very, very easy, because you can just look at your slides straight in front of you, and your slides are going to be behind you as well while you're talking. So don't let that bother you in the least. Okay, as I would like to say, imagine yourself standing on stage. I'm sure you've spent plenty of time and been on stage before. But just get into an imagination state. That's how I get prepared, and I imagine myself being interviewed in a perfect environment as well. And also imagine yourself presenting to your favorite customers or clients. Let's see. And I think the last big idea is nervousness is just a response to a lack of planning and preparation. But if you just remember to just be passionate, stay in your heart, and smile, you're going to do great. So I think that's it. I think the way I'd like to close is I cannot wait to spend time with you in the studio as we get prepared and have a chance to work together. And just don't worry, just stay and be in your heart. Just don't drink any alcohol, at least a few nights in advance. We won't be drinking the night before, you know, when we go out. I wish we could, but we won't be. Just so you look your very, very best, and let's just watch the salt intake so you don't have bags under your eyes. But we've got makeup to make up for that as well. So I think that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope to take you on the beach again sometime, and I'm just looking forward to spending time with you in the studio and making this an absolute smashing success. All right, I'll give you a little view of beautiful La Jolla shores.